It was a few days before New Year's Eve, and Sheila had shown up at her house unannounced with a casserole dish and what I thought was an actual smile. Not her usual tight-lipped grimace, but an actual smile that showed teeth. She set the dish on our kitchen counter and pulled out her phone. "Sweetheart, I found the most darling centerpiece idea for your New Year's party," she said, swiping through her photos. "You have to see this. The gold and silver combination would look stunning with your dining room." I should mention that I had been planning this New Year's Eve party for 6 weeks. It was going to be perfect. 30 guests, catered appetizers, a champagne tower, custom invitations, and expensive florals. I had spent $4,300 of my own money because I wanted to prove something, that I could host like them, that I belonged in the Hoffman family. Stupid, right? "Oh, that's gorgeous," I said, leaning over to look at her phone. The centerpiece really was beautiful. Then her landline rang from the living room. Yes, Sheila still had a landline, and yes, she treated every call like an emergency. "Oh, that's probably Susan," she said, thrusting her phone into my hands. "Keep looking through those photos, honey. I'll be right back." I scrolled through a few more centerpiece photos. Everything looked expensive and perfect, exactly like Sheila's house always looked. That's when the notification dropped down from the top of her screen. A group chat called Hoffman Family Tea. The preview showed a message from Kayla that said, "Did she seriously ask you for decorating help? The audacity." My stomach twisted. I stared at the notification, reading it 3 times. Then I looked toward the living room where Sheila's voice echoed. My thumb moved before my brain caught up. I clicked it. The group chat opened and there was my name, multiple times. The group included my mother-in-law Sheila, her 2 daughters, Kayla and Brittany, and Lauren. Lauren was Sheila's best friend, the woman I had hosted for Thanksgiving, the woman I had bought a $200 cashmere scarf for Christmas. I scrolled up, my hands starting to shake. The first message I saw was from the night before. Sheila had written, "She spent how much on flowers? $900 for one party?" Garrett said she completely drained their entertainment budget for the entire quarter. Brittany replied, "Mom, stop. I'm literally dying." Kayla wrote, "Does she think she's hosting the Met Gala? It's a house party, not a state dinner." Lauren added, "I still can't believe Garrett actually married her. He could have had anyone." Then Sheila responded, "Tell me about it. Rebecca would never have been this wasteful. Rebecca had class." My vision blurred. Rebecca, Garrett's ex-girlfriend from college, the one he had dated for 4 years before me, the one Sheila brought up at every family dinner. I kept scrolling, my heart pounding. The day after Christmas, Kayla had written, "Jenna made her famous lasagna for Christmas Eve, and I literally had to choke it down. How do you even mess up lasagna?" Brittany replied, "The noodles were crunchy. I don't even know how that's possible." Sheila wrote, "I had 3 Tums after dinner. My stomach was in knots all night." Kayla replied, "The worst part? She was so proud of it. Like, girl, this is a crime against Italian cuisine." I had spent 5 hours making that lasagna, 5 hours trying to impress them. Garrett had told me it was delicious. He had eaten 2 servings. He had lied to my face, then told his mother it was terrible. I scrolled further. A message from a few days before Christmas made my blood run cold. Brittany wrote, "Update from the Garrett hotline. Jenna's little business lost another $3,000 this month." Sheila responded, "That online boutique disaster? I told him she had no head for business." Kayla said, "She's a glorified Instagram shopper, plain entrepreneur." Lauren wrote, "Didn't she go to school for graphic design? And now she's selling wholesale jewelry?" Sheila replied, "Community college for graphic design. Then she worked at a print shop making $32,000 a year before Garrett rescued her." Kayla added, "She should be kissing the ground he walks on. Instead, she's playing businesswoman and hemorrhaging money." My business, the online boutique I had started last January with $8,000 of my own savings. Yes, it struggled, but I had been trying. I had been working 60-hour weeks while Garrett told me to just give it more time. Garrett told his mother everything. Every failure, every loss. He had turned our marriage into entertainment for their group chat. I kept reading, my throat tightening. About a week before, Sheila had written, "New Year's update, I reserved the cabin in Aspen for January 15th through 22nd. 7 nights, 4 bedrooms." Kayla replied, "Finally, a proper Hoffman vacation without the extended guests." Brittany asked, "Is Garrett definitely coming without her?" Sheila wrote, "He promised me. He said he would tell Jenna it's family only. And honestly, she isn't equipped for Aspen anyway." Lauren said, "She doesn't ski anyway, right?" Kayla responded, "Even if she did, could you imagine her trying to keep up? She would probably break an ankle and ruin the trip." Sheila replied, "Some people aren't built for certain lifestyles. Jenna's sweet enough, but she's not Hoffman material." Kayla said, "She's like a Target girl trying to shop at Neiman Marcus." Brittany added, "I'm crying, but you're not wrong." My breathing stopped. The kitchen tilted. Family only. Garrett had told me about this trip 2 weeks earlier over dinner. He had mentioned it so casually. Just the core family, you know? I figured you wouldn't mind since you don't really ski anyway. I had smiled. I had said, "Of course, go have fun with your family." And the whole time, they had been planning it, deliberately excluding me, laughing about me not fitting in, calling me Target girl. I scrolled further back, my hands trembling. About 2 weeks before Christmas, Sheila had written, "I ran into Rebecca at the country club today." Kayla responded, "Oh God, here we go." Sheila said, "She looks amazing. She just made partner at her law firm." Partner at 31. Do you know how rare that is? Sheila continued, "Garrett would be married to a partner at Morrison and Fitch right now, making $400,000 a year. Instead, he's married to someone who loses money selling cheap necklaces." Lauren replied, "Sheila, you need to let Rebecca go. It's been 3 years." Then Sheila dropped the bomb. I invited her to the New Year's party. The messages stopped for almost a minute. Kayla wrote, "You did what?" Sheila said, "I invited Rebecca to Jenna's party. She's single now. Her engagement ended in October." Brittany responded, "Mom, that's insane." Sheila wrote, "It's a party. I can invite whoever I want. And maybe if Garrett sees what he gave up." Kayla said, "You're literally trying to sabotage his marriage." Sheila replied, "I'm trying to remind him that he settled. He deserves better than a community college dropout who can't even cook lasagna." My entire body went cold. She invited his ex-girlfriend to my party, the party I had planned for 6 weeks, the party I had paid $4,300 for. She invited the woman she wished Garrett had married, and she did it deliberately to humiliate me. The next conversation made my blood freeze. Late one night, about 2 weeks earlier, Garrett had written to the group, "Is Mom still awake?" Sheila responded, "I'm here, sweetheart. What's wrong?" Garrett said, "Just frustrated. Jenna's been so overly sensitive lately about every little thing." Kayla asked, "What happened?" Garrett wrote, "I mentioned that her lasagna was better last time, and she got upset. I was trying to be helpful." Brittany said, "That's not even mean. That's honest." Garrett replied, "Right? And she's obsessing over this New Year's party like it's a royal wedding. She asked me again if 30 people was too many. I think she's in over her head." Sheila wrote, "She is, sweetheart, but she won't admit it. Too much pride, not enough common sense." Then Garrett wrote something that made my heart stop. "Sometimes I wonder if we rushed into marriage, if I made the right choice." Lauren replied, "Garrett, all couples go through rough patches." Garrett said, "It's not a rough patch. Rebecca never needed this much validation. She was confident, self-sufficient. Jenna needs constant reassurance about everything, and it's exhausting. The party, her business, her cooking, her appearance, everything needs praise." Sheila wrote, "You married her after 11 months. I told you it was too fast." Garrett responded, "I know, Mom. You were right." Then he left the chat. but they kept talking. Kayla said, "He's definitely having regrets." Brittany wrote, "Can you blame him? She's a lot." Sheila said, "Rebecca's coming to the party. That's all I'm saying." Lauren replied, "Sheila, you're playing with fire." Sheila wrote, "I'm giving my son options. He deserves better than what he chose." I scrolled to the most recent messages. That same day, just hours before Sheila showed up. That afternoon, Brittany had written, "Are you really going over there to show her centerpiece ideas? I'm dying." Sheila responded, "I have to keep up appearances until after New Year's. Once the party is over and Rebecca reconnects with Garrett, I can drop this exhausting act." Kayla said, "You're absolutely evil, and I respect it." Sheila replied, "I prefer the term strategic. Now, let me go play nice with my soon-to-be ex-daughter-in-law. Someone has to make sure this party doesn't embarrass the family." "Jenna? Honey?" Sheila's voice cut through my thoughts. My reflection stared back at me from the darkened window. My face was pale, my eyes looked wet. I took screenshots. Every single conversation, every cruel word, 53 messages total. Then I closed the chat, cleared the notifications, and set her phone back exactly where she had left it. Sheila walked back into the kitchen, all smiles. "Sorry about that. Susan talks forever. Did you see all the centerpieces?" "I did," I said. My voice sounded strange, distant. "They're beautiful." "You should definitely order them. They would elevate the whole aesthetic." She picked up her phone, completely oblivious. "And honey, about the party. I wanted to ask if it's okay if I invite one more guest, an old family friend." "Rebecca." She meant Rebecca. "Of course," I said, forcing a smile. "The more, the merrier." Sheila beamed. "You're such a sweetheart, Jenna. Garrett is so lucky to have you." The irony nearly choked me. "I'll walk you out," I said. After she left, after I watched her Mercedes pull out of our driveway, I sat on my kitchen floor. I looked at the screenshots, 53 messages, weeks of cruelty, months of planning to humiliate me and destroy my marriage. Then I looked at my calendar, the one with the big red circle around December 31st. 3 days until the party. 3 days to plan my response. I called my best friend Monica. She answered on the second ring. "Hey, what's up?" "Mon, I need your help," I said, "and I need you to not ask questions until I explain everything." "Jenna, what's wrong? You sound weird." "I'm not crying," I said, looking at the screenshot of Sheila's last message about dropping the act. "Then what are you doing?" "Planning," I said quietly. "I'm planning revenge." Monica showed up at my house 22 minutes later with wine, tissues, and a laptop. "Okay," she said, setting everything on my kitchen table. "Show me." I handed her my phone with the screenshots pulled up. She scrolled in silence for several minutes. I watched her face go from confused to angry to absolutely furious. "That witch," Monica finally said. "That absolute witch invited his ex to your party?" "To the party I paid for, that I've been planning for 6 weeks. And Garrett?" She scrolled back up. "Garrett told his mother he regrets marrying you while you're home planning a party for his family? He wishes he married Rebecca the lawyer, who makes $400,000 a year, instead of me, the community college dropout who can't cook." Monica set the phone down carefully, like she was afraid she might throw it. "We're burning their lives down. All of them. What do you need?" This was why Monica had been my best friend since sophomore year of high school. No questions, no judgment, just immediate ride-or-die support. "I need a projector," I said, "and I need you to help me edit something." The next day came and went in a blur of preparation. I confirmed everything for the party: the caterers, the champagne delivery, the rental company picking up tables and chairs. I acted completely normal. When Garrett came home from work, I kissed him and asked about his day. I showed him the centerpiece photos Sheila had sent. "These are really nice," he said, barely looking up from his phone. "Mom has good taste." "She does. I'm so lucky to have her help." He smiled and kissed my forehead. I'm glad you two are getting close. I wanted to vomit. That night, while Garrett slept next to me, I lay awake staring at the ceiling. He had made love to me for exactly 9 minutes, told me I looked beautiful, then rolled over and fell asleep. The same man who had told his mother days earlier that he wondered if he had made the right choice marrying me. My phone buzzed with a text from Monica. Projector acquired. Video compilation ready. This is going to be nuclear. I smiled in the darkness. The following day, Garrett's sisters came over to help set up. Kayla brought champagne flutes she said were just extras from her wedding. Brittany brought an appetizer recipe she insisted I try for the party. "So you're not totally dependent on the caterers," she said sweetly. "Homemade touches mean so much." I thanked them both. I laughed at their jokes. I accepted their suggestions. The whole time I knew exactly what they had said about me. Target girl trying to shop at Neiman Marcus. I memorized their fake smiles. "Is Mom bringing anyone special tomorrow?" Kayla asked while arranging flowers. "She mentioned an old family friend," I said innocently. "I told her the more the merrier." Brittany and Kayla exchanged a look. Kayla actually smirked. "That's really mature of you, Jenna," Brittany said. "Not everyone would be so welcoming." After they left, I texted Monica. "They actually think I'm clueless. This is going to be so satisfying." She responded immediately. "I've watched the video compilation 6 times. It's devastating. They're going to die." New Year's Eve arrived cold and clear. Perfect party weather. I woke up early and got to work. I did my makeup carefully, not too much, just enough to look polished. I wore the navy dress Sheila had once said made me look almost elegant. I wanted to look perfect when I destroyed them. The caterers arrived in the afternoon, the bartender shortly after. Monica showed up with the projector hidden in a large shopping bag. "Where's Garrett?" she whispered. "Picking up his parents. He'll be back soon." We set up the projector in the living room, hidden behind a decorative screen I had rented specifically for this purpose. Monica connected it to her laptop, which was connected to my phone. One click and the screenshots would display on our living room wall in crystal clear quality. "You're sure about this?" Monica asked. "Like, absolutely sure? Because once you do this, there's no going back." I thought about Garrett lying to my face about my lasagna, about him telling his mother he regretted marrying me, about Sheila inviting Rebecca to humiliate me, about all of them laughing at my failed business, my community college education, my earnest attempts to fit into their world. "I'm sure," I said. Guests started arriving in the early evening. I played the perfect hostess. I greeted everyone with champagne and warm smiles. I introduced people. I laughed at jokes. I complimented outfits. Sheila arrived wearing a burgundy gown that probably cost more than my car payment. She hugged me tightly. "Everything looks absolutely perfect, darling," she gushed. "You really outdid yourself." "I had a great teacher," I said, squeezing her hand. Kayla and Brittany arrived together shortly after. They both complimented my dress, my hair, the decorations. They were so convincing. If I didn't have their messages saved on my phone, I would have believed they actually liked me. Garrett stayed close to me all evening, playing the devoted husband. He kept his arm around my waist, brought me champagne, introduced me to his colleagues as my brilliant wife. Each touch felt like a betrayal wrapped in affection. Then Rebecca walked through the door. She was stunning. Tall, blonde, wearing an emerald green dress that fit her like it had been painted on. She had the kind of confidence that comes from never doubting your place in the world. Sheila practically sprinted across the room to greet her. "Rebecca, oh my goodness, you look absolutely gorgeous." Sheila's voice carried across the entire room. She hugged Rebecca like she was her own daughter. "Everyone, this is Rebecca Chen. She just made partner at Morrison and Fitch." The way she announced it, like Rebecca's accomplishments were somehow Sheila's own. Garrett's face went pale when he saw her. "Mom, what?" "I invited her, sweetheart. She's family." Sheila looped her arm through Rebecca's. "Rebecca practically grew up with us." Rebecca looked uncomfortable for a few seconds before Sheila pulled her toward the bar. I watched Garrett's eyes follow them, then saw him excuse himself to the bathroom. Monica appeared at my elbow. "You said right before midnight, right? During the countdown?" "Right before midnight," I confirmed. "I want everyone here. I want them all watching." The party continued. Dinner was served and everyone raved about the expensive catered food that had cost me $2,550. Sheila made a point of telling multiple people that she had helped me plan the menu, which was a complete lie. I watched Rebecca and Garrett throughout the evening. They didn't talk directly, but I caught them glancing at each other. Eventually, Sheila physically brought Rebecca over to where Garrett and I were standing. "Garrett, you remember Rebecca, don't you?" Sheila's smile was poisonous. "Of course," Garrett said stiffly. "Hi, Rebecca." "Hi." Rebecca looked genuinely uncomfortable now. "Congratulations on your marriage. Your home is beautiful." "Thank you," I said sweetly. "Garrett and I are so happy, aren't we, honey?" I saw something flicker in his eyes. Guilt, maybe, or annoyance. "So happy," he said, pulling me closer. Sheila's smile tightened. This wasn't going how she had planned. Later, I excused myself to check on dessert. Instead, I found Monica in the kitchen. "How are you holding up?" she asked. "I'm ready," I said. "Less than 2 hours now." "The video is cued. All you have to do is press play on your phone when you're ready." An hour before midnight, Sheila tapped her champagne glass to make a toast. Everyone gathered in the living room, all 30 guests plus Rebecca. Perfect. "I just want to say," Sheila began, her voice warm and fake, "how wonderful it is to celebrate New Year's Eve with family, both old and new." She looked directly at me. "Jenna, sweetheart, you've worked so hard on this party. It's truly lovely." Everyone applauded. I smiled and nodded graciously. "To family," Sheila raised her glass, "and to the year ahead." "To family," everyone echoed. I looked at my phone, still some time to go. The minutes felt like hours. I made small talk, I refreshed drinks, I laughed at stories. The whole time, my phone felt like it was burning a hole in my pocket. Eventually, someone turned on the television for the New Year's countdown. Times Square filled the screen, crowds of people bundled in winter coats, the crystal ball waiting to drop. 5 minutes, someone shouted. Everyone started gathering in the living room, champagne glasses in hand. Sheila stood next to Garrett. Rebecca stood near the fireplace. Kayla and Brittany flanked their mother like bodyguards. Lauren hovered nearby. Monica caught my eye from across the room. She nodded once. 10 minutes before the new year, I pulled out my phone. "Before we count down," I said loudly, moving to stand in front of the television, "I want to make a toast of my own." Everyone turned to look at me. Garrett smiled, probably thinking I was about to say something sweet about him. This year has been incredibly eye-opening. I've learned so much about the people in my life, about who they really are when they think no one's watching. I saw Sheila's smile falter slightly. "So I wanted to share something with all of you, something I discovered a few days ago." I pressed play on my phone. The television screen went black. Then the projector Monica had hidden clicked on. The screenshots filled the wall. Enormous, unmistakable. The group chat name appeared first, Hoffman Family Tea. The first message filled the screen. Did she seriously ask you for decorating help? The audacity. The room went completely silent. The only sound was someone's champagne glass hitting the floor and shattering. I watched Sheila's face drain of all color. The messages scrolled automatically, one after another. Monica had edited them into a video with timestamps, names highlighted, the most damning parts emphasized. She spent how much on flowers? $900? Garrett said she completely drained their entertainment budget for the quarter. How do you mess up lasagna? I had 3 Toms after. 3. She's a glorified Instagram shopper playing entrepreneur. Community college for graphic design. Then she worked at a print shop making $32,000 a year before Garrett rescued her. Garrett's messages appeared on the wall. His words. Sometimes I don't know. I wonder if we rushed into marriage. Rebecca never needed this much validation, you know? She was confident, self-sufficient. Jenna needs constant reassurance, and it's exhausting. Someone gasped. Multiple people had their phones out recording. I invited Rebecca to the New Year's party. I'm trying to remind him that he's settled. Once the party is over and Rebecca reconnects with Garrett, I can drop the act. The video ended. The final screenshot stayed on the wall. Sheila's last message from days earlier. Now let me go play nice with my soon-to-be ex-daughter-in-law. The silence was deafening. I looked directly at Sheila. Her mouth was opening and closing, but no sound came out. You left your phone unlocked, I said calmly, when you handed it to me to look at centerpiece ideas. Remember? 3 days ago? Jenna, Garrett started. Don't. I held up my hand. You told your mother you regretted marrying me. You compared me to your ex-girlfriend. You shared every private detail of our marriage, every failure of my business, every insecurity I ever shared with you in confidence. You let them mock me for months. I didn't mean. You absolutely meant it. All of you did. I looked at Kayla and Brittany, who looked like they wanted the floor to swallow them. Target girl trying to shop at Neiman Marcus? That was a good one. Rebecca had backed against the wall, her face bright red. I didn't know, she said quickly. I swear I didn't know she was trying to. I know you didn't, I said. You're not the villain here, Rebecca. Congratulations on making partner, by the way. That's genuinely impressive. From the television, the New Year's countdown began. The crowd in Times Square started chanting. 10, 9, 8. This party cost me $4,300, I said over the counting. Money from my failed business that you all loved mocking. Money I earned from selling cheap necklaces on Instagram. 7, 6, 5. I reached into my purse and pulled out an envelope. These are divorce papers. I filed them yesterday. 4, 3, 2. I handed the envelope to Garrett. His hands shook as he took it. 1. Happy New Year, I said. Fireworks exploded on the television screen. Someone's champagne bottle popped somewhere in the house, but our living room stayed silent. Sheila finally found her voice. You vindictive little... Get out of my house, I said. All of you, the Hoffmans, leave. This is Garrett's house too, Kayla said weakly. Actually, it's in my name. My parents helped with the down payment. Garrett's name isn't on the deed. I looked at my husband. You have until tomorrow to pack your things. You can stay with your mother. I'm sure she'll welcome you with open arms. People started leaving, quickly, quietly. Some looked horrified. Some looked delighted at the drama. Multiple people were definitely recording on their phones. This would be all over social media by morning. Sheila tried one more time. You can't just... I can, and I did. And just so you know, Sheila, I've already sent these screenshots to everyone in your country club directory, all 247 members. I thought they might want to know what kind of person you really are. Her face went from white to purple in seconds. Monica appeared next to me, grinning. I think that's our cue to escort people out. Within 20 minutes, the house was empty except for me and Monica. Through the window, I watched Garrett's car pull out of the driveway with his parents inside. I looked around at the decorations, the uneaten desserts, the champagne tower still sparkling under the lights. You okay? Monica asked. I thought about it. Really thought about it. Yeah, I said. I really am. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Rebecca. I'm so sorry for being part of that situation. For what it's worth, what you did was the most badass thing I've ever seen.
If you ever need a lawyer, call me. She had included her personal cell number. I smiled. Monica raised her champagne glass. To new beginnings? To new beginnings, I agreed. We clinked glasses as fireworks exploded outside, welcoming a year that was already looking so much better than the last. The best part? My phone kept buzzing all night with messages from people at the party, people who had seen the videos being shared online, people from Sheila's country club reaching out. By morning, the video had spread to multiple Facebook groups, and someone had posted the story on Reddit. Sheila's sophisticated reputation was destroyed. Garrett's image as the perfect son was shattered. And me? I was free.
The online boutique I thought had failed, it got over 1,000 new orders in the following week from people who had seen the story online and wanted to support me. Turns out, being the underdog had its advantages. I never spoke to Garrett or his family again. The divorce went through smoothly after 6 months. He didn't contest anything. Maybe he was too embarrassed. Maybe he knew he had no leg to stand on. Either way, it was the easiest part of the whole ordeal. And Rebecca? She became one of my closest friends. We had coffee the week after the party, and she told me she had felt uncomfortable the entire time Sheila had been pushing her toward Garrett. She had no idea about the group chat, no idea about the scheme. She apologized about 15 times before I finally told her to stop. It wasn't her fault. She was just another pawn in Sheila's game. Funny how life works out sometimes. The boutique eventually became profitable. I hired 2 employees and moved into a small office space downtown. I paid off all my debt within a year and even started a second business doing graphic design consulting, the thing I had actually gone to school for in the first place. Garrett married someone else 2 years later. I heard about it through mutual friends, someone who worked in finance, someone his mother approved of. I didn't care. By then, I was dating a software developer named Adrian, who thought my entrepreneurial spirit was attractive instead of embarrassing, who bragged about my businesses to his friends instead of complaining about them to his mother. But every New Year's Eve since that night, I make the same toast: to knowing your worth, to keeping receipts, and to never ever leaving your phone unlocked around someone you've underestimated.